All right, hello everyone. So as you know, I'm Jamie Lewis and we're going to be talking about internet business today. I do internet business, and so I'm going to show you how you can first prepare, build, and launch an internet business or service. And that's important to know, and I'm using that word because sometimes, you kind of have a product or you have a service, okay? So I'll just make a note of that. You've got product or you've got a service. So with that being said, we're going to talk a lot about business to business niche. Who is in the business to business niche here?
I am.
All right, cool. The reason being is I've done a lot of niches, done over 7 figures in the entertainment and music niche, and then over 8 figures in the business to business niche. And that's just because there's a really big population, all right? For instance, in the music niche where I was at, there was maybe like 500,000 people or something. And then the potential in the business to business niche, there was like 50 million people, okay? So that's why I was able to do 8 figures in B2B, and then music was just over 1 million, right? And it took a really long time to do over $1 million in music, and it was, it was like $1,000 day was a really good day in music, and then in business, I mean, the best day I've ever had was like 220,000 or something. So that shows the differences in those niches. So we're going to concentrate on the business to business niche in this presentation. All right. But anyway, back to this. I'm going to give you both options. I'm going to give you an extremely awesome, fun strategy for service, and I would say something that's even more important when it comes to product creation is your a YouTube video, an ad, all right? So I'm gonna kind of go over those two things. I'm gonna explain how you can do money in the short term, like right away with the service, but the dream lifestyle thing, the millions of dollars and all of that, without a lot of headache and without a lot of skill in terms of outsourcing and stuff like that, because there's a lot of outsourcing stuff you'd have to do here. To scale that, you can absolutely do 8 figures, maybe even 9 figures, right? But I've had an incredible amount of fun with, my advertisements, in other words, my products and stuff like that. So, that's of course what, the Rockstar thing is all about, So before we get into that, I want to talk about some realities, which is really important, because these realities are the driving force and where you get your energy from. And if you don't have that driving force or like those reminders, then you're kind of like a boat without a paddle or something. You know what I mean? So one really quick thing I want to do is I wanted to draw this out too. This is really important. When you go to you put a profile on a dating website, like you guys want to get girls, right? So you go to the site and then you upload your picture and you make sure that your picture is really good, right? You're like, what's a good picture, right? So you formulate your picture and then it comes up in all of these results, right? Says, hey, my name's Dan, my name's Mike, right? Susan, there's all these people and their little smiling faces right here. So what they're doing is they're advertising, right? they're advertising themselves. So when you click on this picture or on Dan or their name or whatever, it's going to go to a profile page, right? I mean, I don't do dating sites anymore. It's the same thing. There's a million analogies we can compare to online business. So it goes to their profile page, and then you go on a date, okay? I'll just make a little box for that. There's a date, right? Now, on the page, you can look at this kind of like this would be a conversion, and then this would be the fulfillment. And then this is the advertisement. So look at it this way. Where would you be without this if you had no ability to do this? You just have your profile page. What if they were like, no, we're not going to do search results anymore. You have to do all that yourself. Bring people to your page. That's the same way as what we're dealing with online business, and that's the hardest part. So would it make sense to work really hard on this? For instance, work out or something, right? Get a good photographer, and then get a good writer, or work really hard on your dating profile, like work really hard on writing it. Make it really good and think about it. And then get a freaking amazing click-through rate to your page, right? So since we're on to this, I'm going to talk about the how to just get a killer freaking YouTube video and just blow it out of the water. I mean, you could spend like 4 or 5 or 6 hours and then just have like this killer freaking YouTube video that just spits traffic wherever you want it to be sent, all right? Now, the reason this is important is because, as we were saying, there's like 50 million people who are interested in business to business or how to make money online, or all sorts of the sub niches like how to sell domains or how to do crypto, or all that stuff. So it's kind of like your job is to like do case studies or like do the work for people so that people aren't stuck researching and trying things out for themselves, right? So that's what you're doing, is you're solving people's problems in this niche. And it's really freaking easy because all you need is a case study. This is the hardest thing to get. But it would be like this. Step 1, and I'm going to totally bypass all of the other things for this. Tomorrow we're going to do a gigantic presentation, and I'm going to have to drink a couple cups of coffee because I'm going to be going through everything, like just a long freaking list of everything from mindset, how to control, and retarget your emotions, your anger, your everything into this project. It's kind of like mentally manipulating yourself. And then we're going to go into just everything, attention, interest, desire, action, copywriting, video editing, everything. But today, I'm just going to make it much more simple. We're going to bypass that, assuming that you guys are going to take advantage of the business to business niche. I'm talking about, like, I'll give you an example, like local businesses, they need a website done. You say to them, hey, I'll build your website. Now, the amount that you can charge depends on your case study, how well you've done for people. Obviously, like if you made a company, $10 million or something, you're not going to be cheap. If you're just getting started and you're like, oh, I'll do this and that, and you just suck or whatever, you'd be lucky to get like $200. You know what I mean? So step 1 is your case study, right? Once you have your case study, and that is like, I know you have a case study where it's like you have a ClickBank account where you have a bunch of sales coming in, and it's not much, but I'll tell you, there's some people who have used their one sale, I'm talking literally like $20, it says $20, and they've created a YouTube video, and they're targeting a bigger audience than most people who fail at it do, and they're able to use that case study to just like, all the way down the video, the comments are like, thank you, dude. That was the best thing. It was, forget the gurus. You showed me everything I need to know. I'll never need to buy an ebook again. With only like $20, the guy explained it really well. And he was like, look, this works. I got 100 clicks and I made $200. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't cost me anything. You know what I mean? So step 1 is you have to have a case study. Step 2 is you need to record instructional video. Now, on the timeline of the video, it would look like this. Intro, with you talking, show your face. And then Camtasia, like screen capture video. Teaching and helping people to do it, okay? And then the outro, which can include a call to action. All right? So, in chronological order, it's like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes. You know what I mean? Like that. And then step 3 is rank it in YouTube. All right? So let me give you an example. Someone who has a video of like logging into their Warrior Plus account or ClickBank account, and it shows they made $2,000 or something, and they did that with commissions. Even if you have any type of money making success, even if it's like with eBay or something, how I made $60 or how I sold this thing for $600 in 2 minutes or something, right? You upload that to YouTube and then you let it rank. You target a keyword like how to make money online. You know what I mean? Or how to build an online business. Or eBay strategies. All right, so this would be like your headline. How to build an online business. $600 in 2 days. Okay? That would be your headline. How to build an online business, $600 in 2 days. Then your description of the video underneath the video is give a little detailed. This is what happened when I experimented with this. It actually worked out well. I was able to make money, this and that, right? So you upload that to YouTube, targeting keywords like this, not like online cash pump review. You know how people do that? Whatever. Like Matt Sabia did one Shopify training, and it was exactly like this. Started off with him talking behind his desk, and he's like, hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to do this. I think he had some music on in the background or something. I'm going to show you how to do this. And then it goes into, here's my Shopify account. As you can see, I'm doing this. Now, I'm going to show you guys how you can get free traffic, this and that, and you're solving people's problems. And also, they're thinking it takes money to make money, which is totally false. Also, there's like things that are running around the internet like, oh, you need to read more, you need to read books or whatever. People need to write books more. They don't need to read books more. I mean, I do reading all day, okay? We all read, like, we'll have to go to Wikipedia or something if we're in a political debate, you know what I mean? Like, not saying anti-knowledge or anti-reading, but it's like, yeah, sit there with one book and then the time went by and you didn't build your business and then your time is up, right? So there's all these beliefs out there. You want to prove to people that their beliefs are false, and it's very you get thumbs up for that. on the internet. And that's the name of the game, is you want people to say thank you, and they comment and like it, and they're like, share it, and they show their friends, and then boom, it just goes viral, right? So long story short, Matt Sabia's video, I think it's almost about to hit 1 million views, and he's bringing in like $20,000 a month from, he has a couple other videos. He's bringing in like $20,000 a month just from the video being up there. Like from Google is sending him the money, all right? So that probably took him like an hour to do that. But you do need a case study, all right? So it's kind of like something that can save a lot of lives right there. It's like just a no-brainer, you know what I mean? It's fun to do, and if you can do the work and work real hard over a couple days, 2 or 3 days to get a case study, or if you already have that, you can imagine how much fun you could have with that, especially if it's in the business-to-business niche, okay? And then just remember this. Now, why doesn't everyone do this? I'm not sure why, but I've noticed, you know, in addition to like all the distractions that people have, like they have ADD and they'd rather clean the house or do the dishes or do an errand, or their priorities are messed up. They're like, well, I got to get the registration on my car done. And I just got to do it now because, or it's never going to get done. Well, if you don't do this now, it's never going to get done. You got to think of it that way, right? So you got to also mentally think to yourself, look, if I don't do this by tomorrow, I'm going to die. You have to like kind of be able to trick your brain and like have a real like emphasis, like a mental control over your brain to make sure that you get this type of stuff done, all right? Yeah, pretty much. All right, so here's like the more literal thing. This is pretty easy, but this is like good for everything that you do in terms of creating a YouTube video or whatnot. So with a service, what I mean by that is you'd write out, this is the first step, you think to yourself, what is it that I can do, right? And I'm not really talking about like mowing a lawn or like cleaning someone's house or starting something like that. I mean, we're doing internet business here. So it would be internet types of things like you can do people's YouTube commercials, and then you can do PPC campaigns for people. And I'm talking about like, you know, going door to door, like in downtown, asking companies like, hey, can I do your PPC campaign? Can I do your website? Stuff like that. And then you know how to take payment for that. I mean, that's why this is incredibly easy to do. It's like, you know, you could say, here's my email or whatever. I mean, you could probably write it down. You know what I mean? You could say, I live right in Monroe. And then that way they trust you because, you know, and they're going to trust to work with you because if they see you going into their store all the time, it's easy money. Like, but here's the key. I'll also put like build website, be a consultant. Or you can straight up ask them how business is going. And then prepare yourself for these conversations. Don't just go in there tomorrow without coming up with a list of like rebuttals and, you know, domain name ideas for them and already have some domains, you know, some ideas. People like value first and then they pay money later. They're not going to just give you money for nothing. You have to, you know, but at the same time, you don't want to do too much work for people without getting paid. You get paid first with this and then you do the work after. That's why someone who says, hey, how can I make money tomorrow? This, because this will take you a little longer to do the video and then rank. It's not the end of the world though. You got to get on that now. Especially if you have a case study, it's freaking simple to do. But again, you know, tap into this. Using keywords like this, make money online or build an online business, stuff like that. There's a lot of searches for that. people all the time, they do a video and they target a keyword like Jamie Lewis review or something. I don't get 1 million searches a month like these, keywords, right? I mean, I might be stabbing myself in the foot, but you get the drift, right? Like, go for the big money. I want you all to have success. You could tell everyone I helped you get success, and that does really well for me. It doesn't do real well for me if I give you advice and you strike out. So I'm telling you straight up, that's the bomb, okay? So the first thing to do, this is the way it always goes down, right? As I was explaining it with this, the dating strategy, it's like this: A, B, C, D, all right? You come up with your biz model and what you want to spend your time on. Now, with that, you're also going to be focusing on one thing, because you want to put all your energy into it, because you don't want to do a whole bunch of different things, because then the quality is going to be crappy. It's not going to sell. You need good stuff. The biggest stuff that I've ever done is stuff where I put so much quality in it. It was like, it becomes the point where it's like critical mass, and like people just, they want in. Also, with the service, it could be like, look, I'm going to do so much stuff for you for this competitive price, for this really good price. And, there's a little secret to it. You hire out. It's a lot. That's why I was saying there's outsourcing to this, to make it so that you get paid. So you can over promise and then over deliver. Remember, don't over promise, under deliver. Over promise, over deliver. And the way you over deliver is you need to outsource, and you have to hire people in the Philippines, or, I'd recommend getting a personal assistant, and then another personal assistant, and then another, you have 1 person, 2 person, 3 person as you grow. And of course, we can go more into that in detail like tomorrow with that monster, that big one. But that's the idea. So first of all, business model, focusing on one thing, and then don't be afraid to write lists. The first thing you do is you have a little swipe file. Like you have a text edit document, and it's messy as hell. No one can tell what's going on in it. No one's going to see it. It's just the first step is just dropping it all on this mess file that has all your ideas, and you just spend like 3 or 4 nights just doing that. You'll feel much better creating and coming up with ideas. At first, when you start writing, for the first hour or 2 hours, you're going to be depressed. You're going to be like, I can't think of anything. It's all right. That's your project. Like, that's a project for the next, day or 2 days, or if you're working a job, when you get back from work, you'd be like, all right. Or usually it's like before bed or something. You got your laptop, and you be going to sleep, and you're writing, and you're coming up with your ideas. It's a beautiful thing. Then, after you're done, I'll put that here as this. That's really important. Writing your swipe file. And then, after you're done writing down all your ideas, you're also going to have like your unique selling propositions. Like, it's one thing like coming up with your niche, like you're going to do YouTube commercial. Which one are you going to do? You could do all of these for $1,000 or something. Like, you'd be their consultant, and then you put a time limit, like 6 months. So, that's hey, you're going to get 6 months of me being your consultant. I'm going to build your website. I'm also going to manage your PPC campaign. And the whole idea is their problem is they're like, man, we're struggling. You might go out of business. Nope, not with me, man. I hang out with Jamie Lewis, whatever it takes to, get the gig. Be like, I can do this, bro. I'll be able to bring in like all of, if you live in Shelton, like I can bring all of Derby to your pizza parlor. I can bring all of, Naugatuck to your pizza parlor. You know what I mean? And, a lot of the time confronting, we'd sell domains too. So when we call up companies and we're like, in those sales calls, you're confronted with, oh, we already got that. We got that. And it becomes pretty frustrating. You know what I mean? So that's why you have to write all of your like handling objections first and stuff for this, right? I learned this stuff early on. I had a bagel business when I was 6. For instance, yeah, for real. I had a bagel business. I had to deliver the bagels. It was like the stupidest arbitrage ever. We'd go to Bagel Nosh in the Bazaar Mall. It's called the Bazaar Mall, yeah. All right, so yeah, like, people complain and be like, oh, I'm such a loser. I have no money and my kids are mad at me because I can't buy them this thing. Or I'm having trouble with my, my wife has to take a second job. Like the pain that people, confront, like, and it just gets worse. It gets worse and worse and worse because then you have kids or you get sick or you know what I mean? Or then you have an elderly parent. You got to take care of the elderly parent. Like with time, like you gotta get altitude fast. You know what I mean? So the way to do that is to have some real estate, build some assets. Like people, they skip. Like if I were to say, like, here's $1 million a year, right? I want $1 million a year, and I'm over here. I make $6,000 a year. All right? I want $1 million a year. Wrong. You don't do that. You don't chase that. You chase this. I need to get that done. And then you chase this. For a service, that's like really all it is because you're getting paid first and you're outsourcing it later. If you have this, you can give that to the people you outsource. So service is really, really easy to do actually if you use your brain. Because that's the whole point, is why wouldn't they just go to those people that you're hiring, right? Well, because then those people that they're hiring, they're not sales. They're not solving their problem. They're just fulfilling what you tell them to do, right? So that's why you have to write down, problems that businesses, or even like if you were to forget walking into a pizza parlor, like you could go to Craigslist and get a whole bunch of rappers paying you to do their music video for them or something like that. So there's like no excuse to not have money. I mean, with this, it's a real killer, like excuse killer right there. You know what I mean? We haven't even gotten into digital products yet. I mean, that's a lot of fun too, because when you get into products, and I'm not saying you can't do that with a service either, but when you get into products, then it's kind of like you did the hard part and then affiliates drive the traffic. You know what I mean? Same thing with this though. You can have affiliates drive the traffic for a service too, actually. Which my first launch was a service and it was awesome. You know what I mean? But yeah, so back to this. So you got, biz model, focus on one thing. You think that up, writing your swipe file. And from there, you while you're doing this, you channel your anger. It's like a nuclear bomb, right? Like, so you got the core, the uranium core or whatever. So you got your anger, you got your well, I guess the end result would be drive, right? That's your drive and your energy. So you got your anger, you got your opportunities, you got your fear battle. You know what I mean? You're going to battle your fears. It's fun. You can, how games are fun, right? Like football is fun. Well, like that's the same type of thing. It's like in your brain, you got to fight the demons that are telling you, no, you can't do that. Or, this is going to be a big waste of time. And you get this, you're like, this is not fun for me. And this is hell, right? You can just look at your competition and they're killing it, right? And they're just killing it this way. All right, you know what I mean? So next up, what you're gonna wanna do is your branding. This is fun stuff right here. This is coming up with your domain name. You might even wanna design your logo and everything, okay? Nothing too intimidating. And then you start advertising. All right? Now, of course, I'm talking about, you know, this could be like a YouTube channel right here. This could be a domain name. You put up your website, your logo, etc. Or it could be a service. Like you have everything you need to do to start a service, and then here you go. Of course, if you're gonna build a piece of software and people are gonna download it for like 50 bucks a month or something, then that comes in between here, okay? But this is supposed to be like the quick start, make money right away type of lesson. So this is where I've seen my students get the most results. They do a combination of having service open for business, and the more long-term, awesome, fun rockstar strategy, which is the YouTube video. One other thing to keep in mind is the more value and the smarter you sound, the better, okay? So therefore, it's kind of like a slingshot. Prepare it. The more you prepare it before you release it, the better results you get. The higher ratings and the louder the claps and everything, the more practice you get. Same thing as being a musician, you know? Practice makes perfect. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice. All right, so with that being said, I was going to talk a little bit about like the my first site, which I'd seen my competition. They were really good beat makers. They were really good at music, and I was, you know, I'm a good metal drummer and I'm an okay rhythm guitarist, and I make beats. I'm not the best beat maker. I do all this different types of music and stuff. I've had to practice in all these different areas. I've been spread thin. I've been doing it a long time, so I'm pretty good. Not as good as the beat makers. So they were selling beats for 50 bucks a piece, and they're all in business. They're at the top of Google. So I tried to do exactly what they were doing. It wasn't as good. It's okay. I dropped my price to $15. I said, you're gonna get all of them. I made this violent move, undercutting the competition, and then it was on the ClickBank marketplace where affiliates are driving the traffic, and therefore they could not compete with that. And so the end result was I just dominated. Same thing with I Am With Jamie. I saw all of these people selling coaching for like $10,000, $20,000 or something. A lot of people were you know, saying, and I was doing a couple webinars in the back end, and I started to meet my customers who had bought all of this other stuff. They were like, I spent $5,000 on this coaching and I have not gotten anywhere. I was like, all right, I'm gonna start a freaking website called I Am With Jamie. That's a service. It's a $1 trial for first 7 days. And then people would come to that, to the webinar. You know, the first 7 days they come to 2 webinars, and then it rebills to $97 a month. And I ended up having 1,000 people on the webinar, and that's like $97,000 a month, right? Just an example of that is this video I took just today. Look, watch this. This is pretty awesome.
This is Jamie Lewis. I'm here with one of my protege students. I ran into him at the deli. That's how it goes on the internet. Sometimes you run into people that are in your class. I am Jamie, right? That's right. There's a lot of people in that class. But anyway, Jason's making it happen. Hope that you are able to make
See, I mean, just from walking into the deli. Nowadays, I Am With Jamie is run by other people, but now I have Launch Creator, which is the same thing. You want to do better than your competition. My instruction might be a lot better than other people's instruction, but it might not be as good as some of the big guys out there, right? That's okay. I mean, I do what I do. I'm not great at, you know, I'm not incredibly great at Facebook ads or stuff like that. I don't really tout that. I don't tell people that they're going to learn how to do Facebook ads, but I'll let people know about how I do all these launches every 2 weeks and how I do it. And the great thing about it is you don't need to pay for traffic. You don't need to have a product. You know, my first launch was a service building websites for people. I sold 1,000 of them for $1,000 a piece the first week. It was $1 million the first week. So yeah, so that's about it. Any questions?
So when you launch product and you said the affiliates are like promoting it, like how? Like you said you ended up on the ClickBank marketplace at the top, and like all these affiliates are promoting that your Beat website. Like how did you make that happen? Just like
I submitted my product to, you know, you build your website and then you open up a ClickBank account, which is free. And then inside ClickBank, it says, what is your sales page and what is your thank you page? So you put in your sales page, you put in your thank you page, and you press submit. It says, okay, boom. Then you click on product submit for approval. And they'll look at it. They might message you back and say, you have to fix this, change that. And then, all right, you're approved. There's also a button where it says marketplace information. You put in your marketplace information for all the affiliates and all the distributors to look at it. It's a business-to-business relationship you have with them. It's different than business to consumer. You know, the people who are coming to your site, even though they're business people, it's B2B, niche, they're still consumers compared to, you know, don't get it twisted. There's people with a credit card purchasing your product, but then there's these affiliates that are advertising it for you because they're going to get a commission. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why it's quite powerful.
yeah.